guys, we're back out with the Baja update, and we'll do a little run over on what I've been working on over the past couple weeks on kind of where we left off on our last video of doing the exhaust and the rear suspension. So with this front end, it's a Super Beetle, and we're putting on a standard Beetle front end narrow-eyed, modifying this fiberglass to fit on this Super Beetle. The issues we've ran into, like I said, is it's too narrow. This older fiberglass is either warped or it was fit differently on the last bug it was on. It's probably been on 20 different Baja bugs, who knows? But working on getting it to fit right and look somewhat presentable for this project. Didn't want to reuse the old headlights like a lot of people do. Wanted to go with an integrated turn signal and daylight, time running light, and a little bit brighter headlight. So I found these on Amazon. I think they're 20 bucks each. They're the cheapest, actually, headlight I found on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I figured this is the best project for it because I don't really care. And honestly, I thought they were pretty cool. It's like a weird, to me, it had like a weird JDM style to it, with these
stars.
5 stars down here.
It's a 5-star
halo.
build.
Yeah, it's a 5-star build. All right, so we just threw some hood pins in here. We got the spare tire mounted up in there. But we'll get this out. I can kind of give a little bit better detail. It's a mess right now as I'm working on some of the wiring because the headlights were not functioning the way they should have. So we've cut off all the covering for them, which actually was filled with water. So if you're building one, I definitely suggest getting rid of that stuff. This hadn't even seen that much water, and the insulation that covers it right here, this was full of water when I cut it out. So I'm glad I kind of started doing this so it wouldn't corrode anything. But inside here, you could see the front piece is split. It's held together right now with some ABS plastic until we could fill that in with fiberglass, and it's going to be one solid piece. And then up front where we had cut off that nose, ran a piece of steel across here. It's actually, a lot of the steel I've recycled from an old cabinet I had, which was nice because a lot of it's already been powder coated and is good, solid, like 18 gauge steel. It's really good condition. So I figured, why not just sand off some of the paint and use it? The rest has already been powder coated, and it's actually worked out really well. So we have this bar that goes across here with little supports welded to it, and that's what's holding on this piece right now. This is going to be how it's held on, but there's going to be a little bit more support with it. Right now it's temporarily with some self-tappers and bolted to these fenders. Now, when it comes to the structural part, I've got this strut bar here that was 50 bucks online. It works great. I was worried when cutting this all apart to not get this support back in, so I got this put in immediately after getting it all cut apart. But that wasn't going to be the only thing I thought that would hold this together. So down here where the old spare tire was, that's all been cut out, and now you have these X bracing to hold the front nose. So up front here where that wheel well was, that obviously all got chopped out. And here's another piece of that cabinet. But behind this is more just the sheathing. Behind this is a solid piece of solid stock running all the way across. And I also stitched weld some of it where it was cut out. And I feel like that's a pretty good support right there. And it's going to be more filled in. I want to kind of bring this back into usable storage space again because it's nice when you're out there. Most Bajas, when they get cut up, since they are a standard bead and they're smaller, you actually lose all of this front end. But my plan is to bring up another piece of sheet metal up here and have this nice little square, probably throw some toolboxes in. As you saw, the spare tire is going to live right up here until the roof rack's on. For the front end, that's kind of where we're at right now, is the structural part. I feel like I've got pretty well welded in, more cosmetic stuff left. And some of that cosmetic will turn into structural to help hold together this front end. I've gone off on a couple dirt roads, and it's worked out really good. I actually had no issues. I didn't see any bending or any tweaking or anything, and it rode straight right after, so that was really good. Being a Super Beetle, you have this front they call like it's like a hammerhead looking thing. If you've taken the body off the frame, it looks like a hammerhead. So where the sway bar is mounted, this is going to be sticking out. And I don't want to go off-roading with this piece just sticking out like this. This is just going to catch on stuff, get ripped apart. And so the next thing is once this is figured out, is going to be bringing up a front bumper and maybe like a little bar up front to kind of help, a slider to help deflect anything that gets hit, whatever, and a skid plate that'll go up and under this. So that's going to be one of the next things to do before this goes any more serious off-roading, any big hills or rocks or stuff. I want to get something built up here because I don't want to rip off the sway bar, because that's actually part of the suspension system and holding those trailing arms and everything. It acts as a trailing arm and sway bar all in one. So it definitely needs its protection. But that's the fun thing about this. This is a Super Beetle. Shouldn't be doing this to it. And I'm trying to do it a simple way. So people out there, if you guys want to build a Super Baja, I'm kind of showing you how, like, hey, it can be done. It's not that difficult. And I'm just using, honestly, some scrap metal I've had lying around.
For now, this is stuff I think most people can do.
Oh,
with
100%.
With a basic knowledge of tools and maybe a little bit of welding. But
yeah, everything I've done is with a MIG welder and a grinder with a cutoff wheel.
Yep.
I think in the very first video I'd showed that I had a fiberglass hood. Kind of thought I was going to be able to use that, but being a Super Beetle is longer and wider, that hood would have just needed way more work. I'm already doing all this work to the front. So we actually just took the standard hood and I just cut that front piece straight off. It was actually kind of difficult getting the right angle. It needs a little more tweaking, a little more metal work, but we just cut it right off. I rebolted on the handle, which has been nice to have. And then up underneath here, just welded a piece of piping or stock,
little support
so the
doesn't wobble,
so the hood doesn't wobble. So it's got that support in, so it's pretty solid. And you're done. Installed some LED rear taillights because obviously they cut off the whole back end of this bug. There's no lights left. And this is another Amazon purchase. These are trailer lights. I just wanted to look for a nice narrow, skinny trailer light, LED, which helps. So they're a lot brighter. But they're just temporarily mounted on the back of this engine cowl for now. They'll go when that engine cage is put on here. They'll be put back there at the furthest part so no one runs into us. Something really cool, though, that I recently found that I was going to be buying new online, but I found a guy selling it locally, is this. Actually, this one is a vintage bug pack. I don't think I've seen many gold ones around and with the sticker on there, so definitely going to need to clear coat this to save that sticker. It's got some cool stuff on there. It's got, if I could turn it here, got an old Budweiser sticker from who knows when. It's got a couple other cool little stuff. So all that needed was an adapter from the stock carb up to this one, which also perfectly lifted it above the fan shroud. So if you're ever wanting to put one of these on there, you will have to lift it, and we had to notch out this engine cover. So this is a 55-63 millimeter to a 75-83 millimeter adapter, just a little silicone one. It tightens on there with some clamps, and it just gives another cool look to it. Someone may or may not have put some bad gas in the bug, and it stopped running as well as it did. I ended up draining all that gas out, putting fresh gas in, seeing if that would work. Didn't work. Pulled the carb, we rebuilt that, cleaned it, and got it situated, put it back on. It still didn't quite run right. Come to find out, and if this ever happens to you, you're going to have two idle jets sitting up on this side of the, right here underneath the choke. They're different. I ended up actually swapping. I had a 50-50 chance of getting it right. Got it wrong. Didn't idle right. Come to find out, those two little idles, switched them, and the thing ran beautifully. But during that whole diagnosing issue, I had pulled the spark plugs to replace those and checked the timing. Timing was 180 out, and this number 3 spark plug was completely blown out and stripped, and it was blowing air out. So no wonder it was running like crap. Something was wrapped around that spark plug that shouldn't have been, and it was a temporary fix, and it was not good. So I did the right fix, got it together, pulled the shaft for the distributor, rotated it, got it all timed, and this thing starts up, runs excellent. We actually drove it, I'd say like a 45-minute drive to a car show the other day. Down the freeway, it ran flawless.
Well, and what's funny is that, like, I think if you hadn't put the the old gas. We didn't know it was bad when we put it, but the
might
old
have known
gas,
a little bad.
not perfect gas. In this, I don't think we would have found these other issues unless we were like out in the desert where you really don't want to find those issues.
And then the plug blew out completely.
Exactly.
Because we're running it sort of wide open.
Right. Especially out here in New Mexico, we have a lot of like rural areas that are like hundreds of miles from anything.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately it was like destiny, life, whatever, throwing us that like, you're going to do this thing and find out a whole bunch about this engine.
Yes.
And I think we're like better off for it.
We'll have some videos out soon of doing an engine cage on it, doing the front bumper. Now we've got a good running, I'd say, mid-grade Baja bug, a beginner Baja bug.
Yeah.
Right? It's not going to, I'm not going to go jump this, but man, I'll go take it on a dirt road right now. I've done it. It's fun. It's fun just to drive around town.
Yeah.
People love it.
So we're going to give you a little bit of an update here on the interior. There's a couple things from our introductory. The first of which you'll notice we took out the long mirror. Turns out it's terrible to drive with. It vibrates and you can't really see behind you. So it turns out stock sometimes is better when it comes to that. The other thing we did is we had mentioned that we had already put in this race seat. By luck, we found a very similar, if not exactly the same, seat here. Needs like some like little fitting things, which we have on order, but it fits in fantastic. Like we actually put a glove box back in, new radio, and I think we're doing, Mike, aren't we going to do like a was it like a boat radio or something with outdoor speakers and all that stuff? So
we picked up a boat radio and speakers. That way it's waterproof and hopefully it lasts longer than a stock one.
Yeah. And it, it's nice to have some tunes, especially if you're just like hanging out or riding. It helps also mask some of the rattling that goes on in here. The other kind of fun thing, we might get a little more into it, but we had gone, was it the Dollar
Store?
Dollar Store.
Tree, if you want.
And we got a carpet kit. Right, Dollar Store.
Tree. Sponsor.
Hit us up. You can make Bajas with stuff from there. But we got these actually really great little carpets and
it's like an outdoor rug pieces for $1 each.
And they're really durable. I mean, I've got boots on. He's been driving it. And they fit and form really nice with just a basic adhesive. So, if you're looking to save a little money there, the carpet is nice, even though it is an off-road vehicle, just because it helps with the reverberating noise. Same with this headliner. So more than likely, we'll keep most of that stuff on. That could change when and if we decide to put like a full cage in. This is was this an old military?
Yeah, it's an old Pelican case.
Yeah, so I mean, we have it like tied down. And didn't you use like an old baby car seat strap for it?
Yeah, so we did some riv nuts. There's an anchor point, and I had an old anchor strap for a car seat. And we'll go a little detail, but it's super thin and it fits in there. And if it can hold a car seat in an accident, I'm pretty confident it'll hold that box.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is super handy too, because again, we had, I won't say super expensive camera equipment, but our camera equipment. Potentially, we may make these into like, still like, what is it, Lexan or whatever?
Lexan, yeah.
And where they open out, and so you can access the back from just the side. That'll probably be way down the line, but it is something we think might be kind of cool, just so you don't have to, get out or rather like try to awkwardly try to get stuff out.
I can say, because traditionally a lot of Bajas get rid of that rear window. They get rid of a lot, but we still want this to be streetable.
Yeah.
And so I want something there, but we can open it up like a door and get in there and get what we need easier.
We got these like pretty heavy duty like rear view mirrors that we may eventually like mount a fog light or any of that. But it's kind of cool because they're supported quite a bit. And we were like looking and like, if you hit some shrubs or whatever, which is inevitable, it's going to happen. This I think would stand up more. Plus it's like kind of cool looking. We kind of dug it.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the other things you might notice too is that, Mike was kind of messing around with like a potential wrap on this.
Yeah, we've got some there, and the windshield visor. Just picked some up, seeing how it goes. The color's awesome. The wrap quality, not so great, but
be better.
If you dig this color, let us know.
So this isn't 100%. We're messing around with it. Could be it. We could go full like late 80s sort of graphics and, you know.
Boat flake, just
boat,
heavy
yeah.
flake.
Yeah,
everywhere.
not even flake, just pieces of like a disco ball attached.
Yes. Perfect.
But anyways, yeah, if, let us know too. I know we're a little ways out from that, but if it's something you'd like to see, if you have ideas, shoot them our way. We're pretty open of, you know, once it's all dialed in, we do want it to look, you know, nice, but also, you know,
not
fun
nice enough to off-road.
Yeah, no, it's something we don't want to spend, you know, $3,000 on a paint job. We kind of want to be able to do it ourselves or wrap it ourselves. So.
Oh, and then we got.
Oh yeah, what else?
New door.
Yes.
There's the yellow door, still damaged, but that's whatever. So yeah, we threw a new door in, and for now, right? Like whatever.
For you eagle eyes, you might notice in the introductory video that it is actually the
yellow.
Opening scene is the yellow one, and the reason for that is we're new to YouTube, so we're trying to figure out our own gear. Not to make excuses, but the sound quality when we first did it was just atrocious. So both of us decided, as opposed to making it sound like Darth Vader, that we just re-record it, but we had already done some of the work.
Yeah,
so
want to take back that.
You know, let us know if there's anything you want to see on this, or that you're curious about. Enlighten us if you've had an experience with these that maybe something we're not catching, which is definitely going to happen. We may be learning some of these lessons the hard way, but that's okay. If you guys are enjoying the series, we're really enjoying kind of bringing it to you and figuring it out as we go. Yeah, anything you want to add, Mike?
Nope, that was it.
Cool. We'll see you at the next video.